Madison, Wisconsin. We are underway. Una Viagic, the one who gets us rolling. Now Chicago State caught out a system. That's Furbringer. To Collier. Well, Coach Sheffield looking to add some explosion back into this offense. He got it right there. It's going to be fun to watch the block for the Badgers as well. UC Davis hit just under 400 against the Badgers in set number 1. That time the block's able to do its job. Libero in the thick of it. Now a back row attack. We'll scoot over. And Chicago State will get things underway. They'll try Collier again. Has to poke it over the top. And Badgers keep it alive. Collier reloads. Got it again!
I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that outside hitting tonight.
No doubt she has been the go-to player. Recorded 27 total kills versus Kansas. Talk about making a great first impression.
And in yesterday's game, 13 kills.
Ania Warren as well, the libero. You can see her in the white shirt for the Badgers. Going to be exciting to see how this back line does for the Badgers. They lost some players up front, of course, Sarah Franklin, Devin Robinson, but that back line as well with Gulje Guchtikin. Some players in there as well looking to replace. They've got the talent to do exactly that. In the meantime, it's Mimi Collier, third kill of the day already on just 4 swings. And Viagic well short on that one. Caught Booth in the back of the head maybe, and that really is another storyline for the Badgers. 12 total service errors in set 1 against UC Davis. Of course, 6 on the Badgers.
Yeah, we spoke a lot about that in the earlier game, but service errors, like you said, was the name of the game yesterday. Kind of kept those two teams close.
And we talked with assistant coach John Shondell the other day. Of course, so terrific to talk with, and he told us that he knows this Badger team. He expects them to improve as the year goes along with so many newcomers. That said, Carter Booth, one of the captains, the returning players, making her presence felt right there. Now we know what Booth's ceiling is as a player. Won Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year 2 years ago. Now we'll see the libero and Nia Warren.
Yeah, and after their win against Notre Dame, head coach Kelly Sheffield said she's a beast.
Well, high praise from Sheffield. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to players. Seems to be one of the brightest coaches in the game, and there's the block. Furbringer in the mix of it, the setter. Good to see Natalie Wargel as well, freshman from Lincoln, Nebraska. Not too often you see someone from Nebraska playing for Wisconsin. And another service error.
It is worth noting these teams have faced each other, but not since 2010, when again the Badgers did sweep them.
Yeah, definitely been a minute. And Chicago State looking to earn their first point via something that wasn't a service error. No, they had to keep waiting. Badgers just keep on attacking.
That'll be Natalie Wardlow again. Didn't see much of her yesterday at all, but starting out strong tonight.
She's played in 6 total sets for the Badgers. All 3 games as well. And Chicago State looking for their first kill, and they just look out of rhythm right now, Izzy.
I would agree with that. The Badgers offense is bringing a lot of heat at the net, and they're just trying to find a way to respond.
7-2 run for the Badgers, hitting .625 in the early goings. Wardlaw a bit long, and now a third service error on the Badgers. Wardlaw will check out. And now she has to go ahead to leave the court. Look at Buckingham Badger. Trying to get a new profile picture going there. Serve away for the Cougars. That's Furbringer. And Collier just keeps on thriving.
And that Badgers bench is celebrating.
Yeah, Coach Sheffield, big on the culture, making sure everyone's fired up going into these games. You can play a role in winning regardless of where you're watching from. And now Collier in on the action. Unfortunately, the action for the Badgers so far has been service errors. 4th for them.
Yeah.
Now for Chicago State, this will be Jocelyn Carter, one of the bright spots against Green Bay. Green Bay hit .398 as a team against Chicago State. Collier again. She is unconscious. Saw a stat the other day, Badgers against Kansas, 19% of their attacks from the back row. So with Collier in particular, I mean, just such a versatile player, so crafty. It'll be interesting to see the way the Badgers change this offense. And man, I gotta tell you, I don't know if I've seen anything like this in a while. Cougars 5 points, all 5 coming on service errors. Cougars looking to cash in on an opportunity. It'll be Nia Cummings to serve.
Yeah, Sheffield stopping Addie Horner right off of the sideline to talk to her about that.
Junior out of San Diego, California. Nice serve, but handled well. Vijagic! Una Vijagic out of Serbia, hitting a respectable 21% on the year. Badgers, of course, have faced just a really tough schedule. You talk about the teams that they've hosted the other day: Kansas, Texas. We talked about how Wisconsin got swept against Texas, but it was really interesting what Coach Sheffield is saying in the postgame. He used to start off by saying, well, a team usually has more kills and digs than your opponent. Usually they do pretty well. So the Badgers, errors were the theme, but they know this team's going to improve as Booth earns another kill.
Yeah, like you were saying, improvement was the theme of his quotes in that, talking about, the NCAA tournament being decided by just a few points and having to play together.
11-5, the Hayner Flus. Ariel Tamir-Pinsky also be roaming the sidelines for us this evening. It's the 4th and final game of the Wisconsin Invitational. We had Green Bay, UC Davis, Chicago State, and of course the Badgers playing in this building, and there is the first kill for the Cougars. You talked about, Izzy, how you want to see this Cougar team get rolling on offense, and they're able to do it right there.
Yeah, like you said, 5 of their 6 points just coming off of Wisconsin service errors. Hopefully we'll see them.
And that's Nayella George, the one who got the kill. Booth, another kill of her own. Carter Booth's been such a fantastic player for the Badgers. 2 years ago, hit .400 on her way to first team All Big Ten. And now as a captain, just in that leadership role, it's been fun to see her development with the Badgers. There's a big swing, but a tick too far, and the Badgers will keep the momentum rolling.
Yeah, Booth was quoted after their win against Kansas saying that their team doesn't want an easy way out, even if that's the option. They always want to push and, get through being gritty as a team together.
That was Nayella George again on the attack on that last possession. And throwing it down for the Badgers on an easy close hit, Natalie Wardlow. See Vijagic back at the line. Really versatile player. She's able to get it over cleanly. And an overpass gives Wisconsin another easy kill.
Collier and Booth barely had to jump to touch that one.
Yeah. The perks of being 6'7". Oh, and Vijagic got yourself an ace. Her 4th of the season. Wilson has an outside hitter, but Sarah Franklin, of course, was so great for the Badgers last year in that she could play front row and back line. So Una Vijagic, as a freshman, to see her, that kind of talent flash as a freshman, that's got to be a good sign.
Yeah, as a freshman, it is amazing. Sarah Franklin was great for this Wisconsin team.
Tap placed well there from Nayella George, but Furbringer on it. Now the Cougars cut out a system. Furbringer, Wardlow. Badgers spreading the wealth here. Natalie Wardlow, her 3rd kill of the day. It's going to be fun to follow this Badger team this year. They've just got so many young freshmen that they're looking to have for building new core for years to come, but also some really talented upperclassmen as well. Wardlow has to tap it over.
Yeah, and a lot of talent so early in the season.
Back row attack off the net. And we get a timeout from Chicago State. Now, Chicago State obviously down in this contest, but really got to give them some credit. This is just such an elite atmosphere in Flacco plays.
And first year as head coach. Trying to kind of, learn the players, they learn her, making the entire atmosphere from scratch.
And that is the best way to learn, is to play the best. Just talk with coaches across other sports. I remember talking with the coach for Milwaukee women's soccer, and he said we're scheduling the best teams possible because that's how you learn. You want to be your best team heading into the conference season, and I got a feeling that's exactly what Chicago State's going to be.
I mean, when you talk about coaches, you absolutely beautiful hit there outside by Wardlow.
We don't know Wardlow's a freshman by how she's playing. That'll get her up to 4 kills, tied for second on the team on just 5 swings. Badgers, 778 hit percentage so far.
Going back to those coaches, you have to talk about the Badgers. Lauren Carlini, there is no better player they could have brought back.
Yeah, absolutely. That was such a delight as for the Big Ten, just seeing that one of the game's greats, now back as an assistant coach. Actually a terrific professional career as well. Nigic got herself another ace. She's rolling from the service line. It's another good one. Now Chicago State looking for a clean hit. They'll get one. Now Furbringer sets up Collier. Handled well. Just a bit long, and Chicago State up to 7. Badgers had that run to start, and they'll knock off a 9-0 scoring run for the Badgers. And it's Mayella George from the service line. Has herself an ace on the year, also one of the better hitters on this team. Serves from well behind the line. And you can see why. Unfortunately, that was Tarsi Maya not able to cap that play off. Another one of those young players, Warren, at the line. Warren out of Lockport, Illinois. Freshman is at 5'8". Badger block getting to work. That'll be a point for the Badgers.
Yeah, like you said, young player. Also, haven't seen much of her this season. Having a great night tonight.
Cougars set it up, and a nice swing, but an impressive save. Jocelyn Carter almost got herself a kill for the freshman libero in the area. Now that's daguerreotype on the swing. Collier, back at you.
She cannot be stopped from that outside.
6 kills for Mimi Collier on 10 swings, hitting 600. Badgers so far on the day, but that's all attacking errors. Service errors right now, they have 5. Another nice swing, but another nice save. Badgers caught out a system. Now the Cougars will get to work. Set up from the far side, a little tapper over. Zenya Bertam on the swing.
Good hustle.
No doubt.
From that Cougars team.
Up against the student section as well. Furbringer will try again, this time with the freshman. Joust at the net. And Chicago State, that block's been doing their job this point. Now the Badgers, the ones caught out 6, and they got to get it over. Fun play we got going on, set number 1.
Warren getting a hand
recognize it, and they get the block. Collier and Andrew teaming up. Second block of the day for Bucky.
Long rally on that as well.
Give credit to Chicago State on that one. They had themselves a few nice opportunities. Now the Badgers reaching set point. That swing caught tips, and we play on. Jocelyn Carter, the leader of this offense. First kill of the day for her on 9 swings. Oh, Eliza Corvig, the libero, a nice serve.
Carter, a grad student, so has a little bit of experience, and that will give Wisconsin the win for the first set.
It falls in the gap, and Kirsten Simon caps it off. That's her first. And that really allowed them to rip off a 9-0 run as set number 2 underway for the Badgers. That's Horner setting up Carter Booth. Talked about the freshman, Addie Horner, just one of many out of St. Francis College from Wheaton, Illinois. And I believe that's her first career assist. Backline player by trade, but you need to have that kind of skill, that passing ability no matter what you're playing. Joust at the net. And Chicago State will get things rolling. In fact, they got to give it back.
Just looked at her stats, and yes, you are correct. First career assist.
Up close attack, Collier on it. Horner, and they say that was a lift. Either way, point Chicago State. Should be in the yellow George to serve it again for Chicago State. 1 kill on the day, 9 swings, 3 digs as well. We talk about how the Badgers have some of those backline players that can also do some damage at the net. She's definitely one of them, as Mimi Collier up to 7 kills. Collier, of course, such a terrific player at Oregon in her graduate year. And for the Badgers, obviously, you can try and replace Sarah Franklin. That's going to be tough. But Mimi Collier, that is not a bad way to try as she helps out on the block.
Not at all. And after their loss against Texas, Mimi was talking about learning from that. And she said it's a good chance for them to kind of go through tough times together, but still recognize their talent.
Yeah, Texas, obviously they lost Maddie Skinner, but still bring back a really nice veteran crew. So you knew they were going to be good. They had all the chemistry worked out, as that'll be a 4th touch on Chicago State. So, yeah, the Badgers, they got swept in that one, but I think the way they're trying to look at it is that they came very close to taking set number 1 in that game. So you never know. You get the 1, you go from there. But the Badgers want to prove that they can match up well against the nation's best, and in many ways they did. But Chicago State almost got it over. Instead, it'll be a service ace. You can see the whole Badger team hitting the hardwood for a second there. They may have gotten a warning.
They are having some fun over there. Even getting a smile out of Coach Sheffield.
And that's pretty tricky to do. Chicago State handles it well. That's Carter on the swing. Now Horner looking for another assist. The back line is on it. Charlie Furbringer not on the floor for the Badgers. And that would be probably a setting error called on Horner. We talk about the Badgers trying to work out some kinks with this team. And what do you think of the move to play some of these younger players, get them some experience on the floor? We've seen just about all the freshmen for the Badgers who we expect to be in their rotation play extended time so far.
Yeah, another one just coming onto the floor. I think, as you mentioned, with trying to play the best teams that you can, also trying to get experience when you have an opportunity. You already just won the first set, 25-8. Give the freshmen a chance. They can experience this field house environment for themselves.
Yeah, Carter Booth, as a freshman for the Badgers, played a fair amount, but as a sophomore, that's when she was really able to get that time, and she looked like such a polished player. It was surprising for many people learning that she was a underclassmen at the time, but just getting that experience to build you up. I mean, obviously, Coach Sheffield, he wants to win a championship this year. He wants to win a championship every year, but he's also got to make sure he's building for the future as well at the same time. It's a difficult dance, but the Badgers, they've been able to pull it off well throughout their history.
Yeah, sophomore Miley Chan also on the floor.
Daguerreotype on the serve, and a monster kill from Vijagic. Vijagic, the Serbian, another one of those freshmen we talked about plenty of times so far today. And that's just fascinating the way that these coaches have to be so connected with not just this nation, but all around the world, because just knowing a coach, that can be all you need to get a connection and then get yourself a terrific international player. That'll be a service error on the Badgers.
Yeah, it's been amazing seeing the growth of volleyball across the world and how much, the professional league over in Greece has been growing. It's amazing for this sport.
Horner sets up Collier in the back row. Collier, just such a crafty player. It felt like, Anna Smrek last year, she had the fastball, and it was one of the most devastating hits in the nation at 6'11". And for Collier, yeah, she's got a wicked shot as well, but she knows where to place it. She can adjust in midair. That's what she brings to this team. As we talk about the Badgers, had a nice run of no service errors, but I think they've gone back to their old ways a bit here, isn't it?
Yeah. Service errors.
I know you played quite a bit in high school, talented player across the board. Just a service error, how difficult is that to bounce back from?
Well, service error was my middle name in high school, so I can't speak much on this topic.
Well, it seems like you're very familiar.
Yes, of course. I was so talented at it.
Another back row attack. Who else? Mimi Collier approaching double digits now. Vigic's been getting a lot of service action so far in this game. So, of course, the thing the Badgers are going to be trying to work on. That was a real crafty move there from Nayela George. Obviously, this Badger block is imposing, but George able to place that one pretty well. We've been talking about how dominant the Badgers have been, but Chicago State, they've been pardon me.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah. I still have to pronounce it, though. Hanging in there. There we go. That's what they say. 4 times the charm.
I think the Badgers' service errors have been critical for their success or ability to begin rallies.
Yeah, that was the theme yesterday. Obviously, Coach Sheffield not particularly thrilled with how his team played against UC Davis, but UC Davis, we saw them earlier today against Green Bay. They really are an athletic, fun team to watch.
Yes.
So there's always those games where you kind of have in your head what your team will be when you start the year. So UC Davis, they had the year like we think they could have. I mean, all of a sudden, you sweep them and you sure you don't look good and set 9-2. That could be one you look back on and say, hey, we did pretty well against an opponent that wound up having a pretty darn good year.
Completely. I think they have a ton of potential for this season. I think I'll be following along.
The Yellow George able to make a nice save there after hitting the serve over. That's Andrew on the kill. And Alicia Andrew, first time we talked about her.
Yeah.
Transfer for this team, and you come in, you're a new player, and sometimes you're not exactly sure what you're going to get from a player. For her to get 10 blocks in her first career game, set a career high, that's got to feel good for this Badger coaching staff.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, an amazing performance by her. 8 kills on only 11 attempts, so hit 800 yesterday. And another kill by this Badger offense. Who other than Mimi Collier?
Collier Badgers bounce back. That game will be on ESPN2. Badgers are able to get it over, and Chicago State cuts it to 4. You have to say, Izzy, Chicago State still hitting negative on the day, but they look like a much improved team here in set number 2.
Yeah, completely. I think they have a little bit of energy picked up. I think they got all their nerves out of them and are now able to focus.
Yeah, it's an intimidating atmosphere. Horner went for the setter dump. Now the libero will set it up. Off the block, out of bounds for Jocelyn Carter. I've been saying her name quite a bit here. Second kill in the day for her on 12 swings. Horner still in as the setter. Sets up a good one to Andrew. Charlie Furbringer still not on the floor for the Badgers here.
Grace Egan taking a break as well.
Yeah, you said it. We talked about Egan in the opening as well, how she was such a terrific player. So for the Badgers, it's clear that they really want to use this game to see what they've got in some of these players. And Chicago State seen what they got in Jocelyn Carter, and so far they've been liking what they've seen, up to a team high 3 kills.
Eddie Horner doing well also. But, yeah, Warren having a great performance. Minimal errors.
The Jara type on the serve. The Badgers able to get it off the block. That's Viakic. Sivaki, another one of those talented freshmen for Chicago State. Talk about the new players that they brought in out of Argos, Greece. One of multiple international players for the Cougars. Also have Zainab Ertam, who is the lone returning player from last year. Haven't seen her much in this game thus far.
Going straight back to Jocelyn Carter. Good kill on that.
Not broke,
outside.
Don't fix it. Kind of feels like when you're the underdog, you just got to try and see what's working for and just keep going to it over and over again. And Carter right now is in rhythm. Now she'll try and do some damage from the service line. Badgers want to caught out of system. Viakic gets blocked. Was able to get it over, but a 4th touch. Or they call it a lift, in fact.
Badgers only winning by 2.
And Chicago State, they've responded well. Hitting 158 on the set, Badgers 238. But 5 errors for the Badgers compared to Chicago State, just 2. But that doesn't hurt. Viagic again, just terminating up to 5 kills. Fun crew on the floor for the Badgers. I believe it's all freshmen. And then Carter Booth out there on the block. Now we'll see if she gets it here. Sent to the other side. Viagic again. DLA last year at home. UC Davis, of course, played in this Wisconsin Invitational. The Badgers will get back to work, leading by 4. Chicago State going to keep biting out of that lead, and that won't hurt. Jocelyn Carter again. She is just carrying this offense.
Front row and back row, she's proven herself to be a weapon for the Chicago team.
It's Nia Cummings on the serve. Horner sets it up, and Booth slams it home. Booth has been deadly efficient. 6 kills now on just 6 swings. Can't do much better than that. Ooh, a nifty setter dump. But I think they'll call another lift there.
I think that was a net violation.
I think you're right. Either way, the Badgers will get it back. Tell you what, Viagic definitely getting her reps in as a server thus far. Block, but recycle. Now a swing from the far side. That's George. Libero comes scooping in for the Badgers. Collier uncorks, but the Cougars eat it up. They'll do so again. That middle, Tarsi Maya is playing fantastic this point, but this time Badgers say enough is enough. Turn that volleyball into a temporary souvenir.
And I think for Chicago State, you do have to look at, they have been getting hits over this Badger block, which is a feat in itself.
No doubt, still a lot of talent on this team, particularly in the middle with Carter Booth when it comes to the block. We'll see Booth go up there instead. All by her lonesome, Natalie Wardlaw absorbing that one. Seen quite a bit of Wardlaw so far. It's her second block on the day. Hitting .417, 5 kills, 12 swings, no errors.
Madison Quest for the first time today.
A nice ovation for her. Name's Madison, but from the state of, or from Wisconsin, from Milwaukee.
That was very clever, Vince.
Yeah, if I could say words correctly, it would have been even better, but we'll reach that point one day. Badgers in the midst of a 5-0 scoring run. George again. Was it off the block? No, it was not.
Chicago coach going to challenge that right away for a touch.
Yeah, right away. That felt like one that immediately went over the scores table with the card. So when you're a grad student, you get those kind of perks. And for Collier, one of the smartest players in the game, arguing at number one, that's a right that she has earned. Oh, big close shot, and it falls. Tosa Serafinowska. All the younger players getting in the mix of it. Out of Poland.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see these young players all kind of finding their unification together.
Yeah. Got a chance to watch the Badger team of the future in the present as Serafinowska again, back-to-back kills.
I like the way you put that. That's very accurate. And then you can see all the upperclassmen kind of cheering them on from the bench.
Set point for the Badgers. This crowd on its feet, and they get it done with an ace. Una Vijagic has not been the best serving performance for the Badgers, but Vijagic better showing for them across the board in set two. They got 13.
Yeah, and now we see that same young Wisconsin team taking the floor. I think after the rhythm we saw at the end of that last set, we'll see a powerful start to this third set.
That'll be Andrew, the lone upperclassman out there on the floor being taken off. And yeah, you said it, Izzy. This is the youthful team for the Badgers right now. It will be their star server, Vijagic, to get us rolling in set number 3. Vijagic 3 service aces on the day. That one handled well. Now a back row attack placed well. The Badgers on it. That's Horner and Serafinowska again.
And those Badger upperclassmen already bringing the energy on the bench.
Yeah, going to be a unique opportunity for the starters on this Badger team. Don't spend too much time on the bench, particularly for Coach Sheffield to get a service ace for the Badgers, but you can see him celebrating. Getting fired up. Happy to cheer on these younger players because, I mean, for a lot of these players, their impact, yes, it's meant to be in the present what games they'll win, but the advice that they give these young players, a culture that they set is you guys say that's going to be around for years to come.
Yeah, completely. You can see that in the kind of family-oriented style of Badger teams in the past.
George, get yourself another kill in the meantime. On a similar vein, we talked about Zainab Ertam for Chicago State. Haven't seen her play so far in this contest, but as one of those returning players for him, a senior, talk about trying to maintain that culture. Chicago State had had a great one over the years. Those returning players, those older players, they mean a lot as a service ace as the Cougars fired up.
Little error there from the libero.
Daniela George getting it done every which way for this team. 17 total swings for her, tied with Jocelyn Carter for most in this game. This is Horner setting up Quest. Just got the back line. And the Badgers take the lead.
Yeah, we saw Quest yesterday have a good impact with serving, and now in the front row for this Badger team.
Swing at the net. And might have been a net violation on Chicago State. Either way, an awkward exchange, and that's the Badgers a point. And you said it felt like that Coach Sheffield, you know, he really was pushing his players to improve after that game yesterday. But from your perspective, you said that you thought he was very impressed with Quest.
Yes, there was a point where she came off the court after serving, and he grabbed her and pulled her aside and was smiling and giving her encouragement after her performance, which high praises from Sheffield. And that one's going to be dumped right into the campfire
Natalie
from Wardlow.
Placed it very well, up to 6 kills on the day. You can hear the student section chanting the word sieve. I know it's probably a little confusing in the sport of volleyball, but that's actually a hockey term for a keeper who allows a lot of goals. But I guess for the Badgers, hockey's the language that the student section speaks, so they'll speak it in any sport.
Yeah, it's their only universal language.
That and cheese.
Oh.
And a beverage.
And a beverage. That was going to be mine.
Chicago State thought it was out, let it go, instead it winds up being an ace. Natalie Wardlow getting it done every which way for the Badgers.
Don't want to jinx anything, but quite different from service errors. We're seeing a lot of service aces right now.
Yeah, these younger players, they've done, ironically, a better job than the older players.
I apologize, Vince.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to the
I apologize,
Badger
Coach
faithful.
Sheffield.
You have impeccable comedic timing, Izzy.
Thank you.
This is Quest on the swing. Handled well. And now Carter. Oh, the slide and the stuffer, Andrew.
You mentioned earlier the Badgers have not been using slides much. Didn't see it a ton yesterday and didn't really see anything a lot today, even in the previous game with slides, and now finally seeing some power from that.
Yeah, Badgers trying to get those newer players some work, and Andrew is absolutely one of them. So we got another service error, man. Your work, your demonry has spread far, Izzy.
I apologize. Now extending to Badger fans.
Jocelyn Carter, one of the standout attackers for Chicago State. Viagic off the block, got it again. Up to 7 kills, second on this team behind Collier's 11. The Badgers will make another change. I mean, Morgan Van Wee to come in to serve. Sophomore from Waunakee, Wisconsin. That's not far from here. Good read from Quest, let that one go.
And along with celebrating, those upperclassmen Badgers are also giving them advice after their points.
Yeah, good way to learn as the Badgers get themselves another one. It's going to be really fun to watch the Big Ten as a whole this year. I mean, for the Badgers, they had a ton of older players, a ton of veteran talent, took third in the Big Ten and lost to Nebraska in Lincoln, got swept by him. But this is a team, they're going to be under the radar here. I know a lot of folks might expect a regression from the Badgers, but the way they've retooled, the way they expect to improve, it's going to be a really fun conference to watch this year, top to bottom.
We talked earlier about that Badgers' upcoming schedule against Florida. that is the Kohl Center Classic this year. An exciting game where it's not played here. We get to go to the Kohl Center.
Yeah, Badgers, of course, played that opening Spike Classic at the Kohl Center as well. We talked about Madison Quest before the break and just how she's instantly become a fan favorite for this team. Played well in spring as well. And we look at our roster here, we get a lot of different stats, and one of the things that we get is the high school for these players. And I saw that Madison Quest went to Divine Savior Holy Angels, and I kind of was thinking, who do I know who went there? And it turns out that Quest has some really fantastic alum to live up to, because one of the best people I've ever met actually went to there. My mom.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They are notorious for being a good program. I pay attention to the high school playoffs, their state tournament each year, and they're always a reoccurring name.
It was so fun talking to my mom about it. She was so giddy about it. One of the Badgers went to your high school, and she said, well, just so you know, I was the starter for my team, the starter second string. And I was like, Mom, that's not how that works.
Well, just for her it is.
Yeah. In the meantime, Chicago State able to rip off a point and break a Badgers 6-1 scoring run.
I mentioned the Badgers was picked third for that preseason poll. Seniors Carter Booth and Mimi Collier, and then also sophomore Charlie Furbringer named for Big Ten volleyball preseason all-conference team.
And Sarah Fanowska gets another kill, kind of an unusual one. It felt like she kind of missed it off the side of her hand, wound up kind of being a screwball that was placed pretty well. Badgers hitting 636 on the set, 435 for the game. And we'll just keep on adding on. Vigic back at the line.
Seems like she's been at the line all night.
Yeah, she has. Badgers have been more than willing to get her some opportunities. Spot might see her playing some big games. That'll be an attacking error. Ayala George back at the line. This is so cool to see her. She's basically right up against the student section on the far side of your screen. Every player has their own style when it comes to serve, and the results speak for themselves for her. She's a terrific young player. Overpass, big hit. Sarah Fanowska gets it gobbled up. Now a hit and return. It's deep off the arm of Vasicki. Silky Vigera type, going to be fun to watch her this year as well. Given her 17 swings so far in this game.
Warren having a great night. A few errors, but her athleticism is just shining.
Chicago State got to give it up and caught the Badgers a little off guard, and then they got the block. Jocelyn Carter in the mix of that one. Who else? And for Chicago State, obviously down in set number 3, still a chance to come back for Camille Jones. We talked about before. This is going to be a big win for her either way, because she's going to be able to really spell out what her team has to work on as they'll get back-to-back points. That's Mia Cummings this time.
That a little bit of a setting error by Horner there. That was a great follow at the line by Warren.
No doubt. Now Warlow got a chance from the service line. That's Carter on the swing. Now the Badgers in return. Quest. It's top 5.
Top 5, perfect.
Yeah, I'm top 5 in something.
You were picked top 5 for the preseason poll of most embarrassing ways.
Closing time here in the Fieldhouse. Badgers 6 points away. Chicago State keeping up the fight. There's Horner setting up a back row attack, but gobbled up well. Nice save from George. Setter dump works well. That'll be another point for the Badgers. We saw Furbinger play a little bit at the start for the Badgers. Totaled, mostly in that first set, totaled 12 assists. But this is kind of neat for the Badgers. They expect that Furbinger is not going to be spending much time on the bench, but they're giving Horner a lot of chances here, and she's making the most of it, 22 assists so far.
Yeah, completely. Talking about her a little bit, and then also player who we haven't seen this set is Mimi Collier. Both of them D1 players to watch list this year. Do you think, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, Collier just a big pickup for the Badgers. Mentioned Grace Egan, who we haven't seen for the Badgers. Worked out well for them. They had Grace Lopez as well, number 23, transferred from Miami. She was terrific, but had an injury, and she'll be out this year, but expected to be back the year after. So this team, they lost a lot of great players last year. It's going to be really fun to monitor them throughout this Big Ten season. This will be for Chicago State as well. They've flashed some good things that they're doing well, and you got to give a lot of credit to a team to come into the field house to face this atmosphere before you're allowed to do that. So the quote that Coach Sheffield usually says, I'm looking for people who aren't just out there begging for the call.
Interesting to have that little coach's insider information.
Push over the top, and still seeing Alicia Andrew out there.
She's been a little bit of a leadership role.
No doubt.
In huddles, she's the one speaking. They're all looking up to her.
Well, multiple years older than any of the players on this floor. Nice serve from Wardlow, but handled well. It'll be Carter getting the kill. Up to 6 for her. Back-to-back 6-kill performances for Jocelyn Carter. Had a strong showing against Green Bay as well. Quest again. In rhythm, and it is match point for the Badgers.
Quest has just been so amazing tonight on that outside. It's nice to see, you know, her getting that chance to prove herself.
Lower bowl pretty much full in this building. Everyone on their feet, about half full in the second level. And that will do it from Madtown. The Wisconsin Invitational ends with a Wisconsin win. Badgers cap off the sweep. A lot of young players contributing.
Quality.